Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of all, who sanctifies us with commandments and commands us in the counting of the Omer. And we announce the day of the Omer first in Hebrew. Hayom Shisha Va'arba'im Yom Shehem Shisha Shavuot Va'arba'a Yamim LaOmer. Today is 46 days, which corresponds to 6 weeks and 4 days of the Omer. So I want to share tonight a poem prayer. It's a prayer. I actually learned it first as a poem, and then I later learned that it was actually a prayer. But tomato, tomato. So this was written by Archbishop Oscar Romero, and he was assassinated in 1980 in El Salvador for speaking out in favor of human rights, speaking out against the government. I learned this first when I was in El Salvador on a trip with American Jewish World Service, and it's stuck with me over the years, and I think has some obvious Jewish, well, we could do some mashups with some Jewish texts. So this is from his prayer, Prophets of a Future Not Our Own. And this is just part of it. This is what we are about. We plant the seeds that one day will grow. We water seeds already planted, knowing that they hold future promise. We lay foundations that will need further development. We provide yeast that produces far beyond our capabilities. We cannot do everything, and there is a sense of liberation in realizing that. This enables us to do something and to do it very well. It may be incomplete, but it is a beginning, a step along the way, an opportunity for the Lord's grace to enter and do the rest. We may never see the end results, but that is the difference between the master builder and the worker. We are workers, not master builders, ministers, not messiahs. We are prophets of a future, not our own. So to me, some obvious things that come to mind. The first is the text from Pirkei Avot, which was turned into a song by Cantor Jeff Klepper and Rabbi Danny Freelander, Lo Alecha Hamlacha Ligmor. It's not up to us to complete the work, but neither are we free to desist from it. Another Pirkei Avot text, if I am not for myself, who will be for me? If I'm only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? And the third that came to mind was the story about Honi, the circle maker. I think this is probably the most famous Honi story from the Talmud, where he plants a tree and the kids come along and are like, why are you bothering planting that tree? You're not even going to be alive when it grows and has fruit or whatever. And he says, I'm not building it for myself or planting it for myself. I'm planting it for future generations. So there's a lot that we could tie into Jewish texts. And I also think that that there's a sense of humility that comes into this prayer that isn't quite captured in the Jewish text. I love this idea. First of all, the how he says that we can't do everything, and there's a sense of liberation in that. And I think it's also humbling for him, how he talks about the humility of realizing we are not all powerful. We are not God. We are but the workers. We are God's partners. We are not messiahs. And that we are prophets of a future not our own. So we are also, in that realization that we're not nearly as important as we think we are. We also know that what we do has an impact on the future. And so finding our place in that. And so I think it's just a beautiful, I think it's beautifully written. Wanted to share that with you all. I would love to hear your reactions, and I would love to hear if you have other associations, things it makes you think of. Um, that would be great to know. So